Okay, it's 8:15, so let's commence our Cred.15 at 8:15. Welcome everybody. Hopefully everyone's had a time to relax and recharge your batteries over the Easter period. My name is Ronan McDonald and I'm delighted to be your co-host this morning alongside Kendra Studwick. As always, we hope that in this 15 minutes we can support you to navigate this time. And that theme of navigate is something we're going to really focus on today. We want to make sure that you feel connected to this group, to Kendra and myself, and to hopefully each other. And if appropriate, we want to support you to use this time to build some strong habits. We hope that in this 15 minutes, you can leave feeling a bit more calm, definitely a sense of being connected, and a bit more positive. So in terms of today's session, what we're going to do is Kendra's going to lead us through an arrival exercise. We're going to go through our how are you feeling exercise for those of you who are familiar with it. We're going to have a discussion around this kind of sense of a changing phase that we're moving into. And then we're going to move through our three areas, our pillars of Cred: focus, move, and connect. We really want to make this an interactive session. So we would love for you, after some reflective exercises, to type your responses into the chat box. And if you are following us on Facebook, please find the best way to support you to complete the sessions. And now I'd love to hand over to Kendra to lead us through the first part of our session. Thank you, Kendra.
Thanks, Ronan. Good morning, everyone, and good evening to some of you. Let's start with our arrival activity, short mindfulness exercise. You're probably quite familiar with it now. It's called breathe. So when you do breathe, take a deep breath in from your belly. Breathe. Breathe again. Smile. Relax and arrive. Where you are. Be natural and open to effortlessness, to being. Rather than doing, drop everything, let go, and arrive. And now you're here, I want you to notice what the weather is for you today, the emotional weather. As we move into the how are you feeling activity. So feel into your energy levels and what are they today? Are they red, amber, green? Are you vibrant and bouncing, or do you feel a bit sluggish today? What's your energy like? And then tune in to some of the emotional data that might be present and double click into it. And notice the specific emotion or combination of emotions that are present for you. And if you can, label them, name them. So for me, I do have a bit of pain today, a sore neck. And underneath that, there's almost an undercurrent of apprehension and anticipation. So that's the combination that are there for me. What's present for you today? We encourage you to notice how you're feeling, not just at the beginning and the end of the day, but perhaps sometimes during the day. There's a lot that can be present that's suppressed and drowned out in the day-to-day. A little worried but excited for the long term. Yeah, thanks, Ronan. So I wanted to share a passage that I came across yesterday. And I did share this last night, but there were only a few people on the call, and I think it's useful to share again. And I'm not sure who wrote this. My friend put it in her newsletter and she wasn't able to acknowledge it, but it's quite beautiful, I think. And the passage goes like this. We fell asleep in one world and woke up in another. Suddenly, Disney's out of magic. Paris no longer quite so romantic. New York sleeps, and the Chinese wall is no longer a fortress. Hugs and kisses suddenly become weapons. And not visiting parents and relatives and friends becomes an act of love and service. Suddenly you realise that power, beauty, money aren't worth what you thought they were, and they can't get you what you're looking for. The world continues its life, and it's beautiful. It's just put humans in cages. Perhaps it's sending us a message. You are not necessary. The air, the earth, the water, the sky, without you, are fine. When you do come back, remember that you're my guests, not my masters. So I thought that might pave the way for our conversation today and provide a little reflection. Keen to hear what you think about the passage. Over to you, Ronan.
Thanks, Kendra. So there's a couple of things that really resonate with me at this time. So the first thing is, it feels like we're moving into a different phase of what's happening at the moment in our world and in our personal worlds. So it felt like maybe the last 3 to 4 weeks where there's a bit of novelty. It was working from home. There was more time to exercise. There was more time with family. And I've sensed that we've had a break over Easter, and now we're coming back to maybe a lot of more uncertainty. So if we're preparing for exams, we might be preparing for them in a different way. If we're returning after Easter to manage teams of people, we're not too sure how people's energy levels are going to be. We don't know how our own energy levels are going to be. If we're managing or looking after, should I say, children who are starting school holidays, we're moving into a different phase. So I think exercise is like doing this emotional labeling and understanding what's going on for us and really helping us to navigate this time are really important. And then I think this sense of what's happening in the bigger change of the world in our passage is something that's really, it's an opportunity. And I think it's really an opportunity for us to reflect on what's important to us and our values. So they're the things that are resonating with me, Kendra. Does that make sense with you?
Yeah, and I know I mentioned that metaphor of, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, or maybe it's a series of sprints, but it does also feel like we're moving into a different phase now that we're after Easter. And I'm curious what's happening for everyone, like what's most present for you. Ronan and I are mindful that we want our conversations to continue to add value for you. And it would be good to get a sense of what you're experiencing, what you're noticing, and what you feel like you're moving into next. So give us some input. Feel free to use the chat box and let us know what's coming up for you.
I'm sorry, I just want to add, someone sent me a note that it doesn't appear my camera's working, so my apologies if you're just hearing my voice. We'll have a look at that after today's call.
Yeah. So while people are typing into the chat box, what I've noticed for me is, it does feel like there's almost another fresh start, which seems a bit weird. And I think it's because of the creativity and the play that I've enjoyed. I've played more board games in the last couple of weeks than I had in decades, I think. And yet, with my husband took some time off and he's still on holidays, and my son's now starting a first official day of school holidays. My niece that lives with us, she's still nursing, so she's going to work every day, and I'm still working. So it's like half the house is on holidays and chill mode, and the other half of the house is still, doing and trying to achieve. And serving those two needs is a little bit of a delicate balance at times. So I notice what's present for me is to just take more breaks, enjoy more, family time in the evenings, go for a walk in the afternoon when I wouldn't normally. So punctuating my day, and I'm still not quite used to that. That's new for me. So what about for others? Yeah, so someone else is feeling like it's phase 2 of self-isolation after the Easter break. Yeah. And the word navigate requires each of us to chart our own course. So there's no particular way that you need to do that. It's a choice. And that's what my advice, my mentoring, my coaching would be for all of us to find our choice in this moment and to be mindful and purposeful about the choices that we make. They feel like they have a bit more weight to them at the moment. One thing I can tell you, when you're making lots of choices or decisions in a day, fatigue can set in. It can be very taxing to do that. Yeah, Coralie, thanks. Self-soothing. Yeah, many of us are needing to do that, aren't we? Self-soothe, self-love, all of those things that we may not have been taught how to do. We're needing to find our own way to do that. And perhaps you can bring that intention in to the 3 focus areas or pillars of Cred. So how can you bring more of that self-love and compassion into your focus, your movement, and your connection today? Ronan, would you like to guide us through with some examples?
Absolutely. And I just want to acknowledge Coralie for that note. It's a theme that we talked about last night around while we're each navigating this time. I think we need to have a bit of self-compassion for ourselves and not be so hard on ourselves at this time, because each of us are going to be coming to this time needing something different. Maybe it's focus, maybe it's just a sense of connection, maybe it's a sense of helping me navigate this time, and it's all okay. And Kendra and I are here to support you each day, and thank you for joining us. So in terms of today, focus. So what does focus look like for you personally today? Is it around a priority for your exams? Is it around starting the week well with your teams at work? Is it around having fun with the kids? What does focus look like for you today? I will invite you to spend some time in reflection. And in the area of move, where we encourage you to be physically active for at least 15 minutes today, maybe today is just a bit more gentle movement. Perhaps today is a walk. Perhaps today is a time for reflection when you're walking. Thinking about those questions that Kendra and I posed this morning. What does the next week or month even look like in a way that can support you to navigate this time and choose your own path? And when
You've given me an idea, Ronan.
Go for it.
Today, I'm going to walk, but walk no path. I'm just going to randomly walk.
Love it. There's a challenge for everybody. A walk with no path today. Thank you, Kendra. And in the area of connect, we encourage you to make a connection with someone else today when we can't physically connect. So there's someone you can reach out to just to check in that they're okay. They're navigating their own path. Let's do it without judgment, but with intention of support. So who could you reach out to today and have a conversation with? So that brings us to the end of our Cred.15 at 8:15. Thank you for joining Kendra and myself. We will be back here at 5:15 again, Sydney time. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful day. Kendra and I will hang around if anyone has any questions. Thank you.